So a few years back, a good friend of mine was in Italy on vacation with his family. It was summertime, he was in Rome, it was crowded, and while in line to enter a popular tourist destination, and in less than half a second, he had a guy grab his wrist and pull off his $50,000 Rolex. But then he got angry, started chasing after the guy because he was a big, able-bodied man, right? Well, he ended up catching up with him as the guy was jumping on a scooter, but my buddy stopped in his tracks when the guy flashed a weapon and he said, you know what? Yeah, it's not worth it. Now, I share that story with you to make a point. And that point is not that thieves target rich people. Because yeah, that's what some of you guys were thinking, right? No, statistically, when it comes to petty street crime and robberies, the top factor isn't wealth or perceived wealth. It's actually opportunity and vulnerability. You see, most likely my friend was targeted not because he looked rich, but because he was perceived as being an easy target. You see, he was in a gated line with his hand up on the gate. He was oblivious to his surroundings. And he later told me he definitely looked like a tourist, definitely looked like an easy mark. And yes, I'm sure the fact that he had a blingy watch on definitely caught that professional thief's eye. But the point I want to make here is that dressing nice does not increase the chance that you're going to be robbed. Which I know sounds counterintuitive. You would think that somebody going to steal from another person would go after a target that looks like they have money. But the crime stats, again, just don't back it up. Thieves target the vulnerable. They go after an easy opportunity when it presents itself. Now, let me be clear. I'm not going to be wearing a flashy watch in an area that is known for pickpockets and thieves. But I want to dispel the myth that dressing nice somehow sets you up to be a target. You see, over the last year, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube pop up saying that you should dress poor. And I definitely get the logic of not wanting to draw attention to yourself. We're not wasting money on overpriced fashionable clothing, but I feel they're missing some really important points. They don't necessarily understand the huge benefits a man gets when he dresses well. And notice I said well, sharp, elegant. Now, the first benefit actually comes from a new field of science called enclothed cognition. So about a decade ago, over at Northwestern University, in which they took hundreds of random students and they gave them a white jacket. Now, they had the students take a test, and lo and behold, those wearing what they thought was a doctor's jacket performed statistically higher. Well, it turns out when these students thought they were wearing a doctor's jacket, they were more attentive. They were more detail-oriented. Now, the study has been repeated, but if you think about it, anyone that's played sports knows that, hey, you've got your lucky clothing. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but as a runner, I had a lucky pair of shoes. They were my go-to spikes. I knew them, I was comfortable in them, and I always felt like I ran faster when I put those things on. A lot of baseball players have a lucky cap. Basketball players, your go-to jersey. And again, what's interesting is this clothing does have an effect on your confidence and thus your performance. Now, what happens when you dress poorly, when you're underdressed? You underperform. In fact, this one study actually had men that hadn't showered for a few days. They were videotaped. Students who watched the videotapes and obviously couldn't smell the guys looked at them when they hadn't showered, looked at them when they had showered, and they were asked to rate the same person in the same clothing, in the same video, their confidence levels, if they could see a difference. Across the board, the guys with the bad grooming were seen as having lower confidence. And again, this is via video. People couldn't smell them, but the guys could smell themselves. They didn't feel confident. The reality, gents, is when you step up your style, when you dress the part, you play the part. You feel the part. You walk in with your chest out, just simply feeling better, and you perform better. Now, are you saying, Antonio, that wearing a suit's going to solve all my problems? Of course not, gents. Sometimes you need professional help. Sometimes you need to speak to somebody about your issues. Sometimes you need therapy. And gents, if that's you, you need to check out today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Now, gents, in case you didn't know, BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. Gents, with BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists. Being straight up, I have used their services. Like a lot of you guys, I've got a high-pressure job. I've got my extended family from Ukraine live with me. We got a full house. There is chaos. There's craziness. And if you want to speak to somebody private, somebody outside of your family, I love what BetterHelp has to offer. Gents, I'm here to tell you there is no shame. There is nothing wrong with talking with a professional. It can help a lot. Oh, and don't worry, if there's not a great fit between you and your therapist, you can actually switch to another therapist at no cost. But I know in my case, they've got a great selection. They actually found a therapist for me that was really good. And on top of that, you can message your therapist at any time. Oh, and let's talk about scheduling. I know a lot of you guys are busy, and what I love about BetterHelp is that you can find a time that works for you. You get the same quality as in-person therapy, plus more scheduling, flexibility, and at an affordable price. So gents, to join over 4 million people that have already used BetterHelp, just go to betterhelp.com/realmenrealstyle. Again, that's BetterHelp.com/ real men, real style. Gents, by using that link in the description of today's video, you're going to save 10% off your first month. Now, another issue I've got with the whole YouTube trend about dressing poor, most of the people I see talking about this are friggin' beautiful. The reality is this beautiful person living in the Western world has probably not had a restaurant owner slam a door in their face because they don't look like they can afford the food. Yeah, this happened to a buddy of mine years ago over in Romania. Now, he's a shorter guy and he is Moroccan. He actually looks what many people there would consider to be Roma, and he was really dressed down. He had been working in the fields. He was working for a farm company, and just, as an American, just walked right into this nice restaurant expecting to be treated nice and fed well. Well, the way he told the story, the owner looked at him quickly and screamed at him to get out of the restaurant and threw him out. Now, my buddy Matt, who was coming up behind him and apparently dressed much better, thought it was really funny, and they still laugh at that story to this day. But the reality is this: people are lazy. They go to their shortcuts, they go to their biases, and they make snap-second decisions based off what they see. If you don't look the part, if you don't look like you're successful, if you don't look like you have money, don't be surprised when people treat you the way they perceive you. Again, in my experience throughout North America, United States in particular, restaurants, bars, businesses are pretty laid back when it comes to presentation and style. Now again, gents, I'm not saying you need to dress flashy. I'm not even saying you need to dress rich, but I am saying dress the part. Know who you are and don't be afraid to dress in the manner that your clothing speaks for you. And speaking of dressing the part, that takes me to my next point: dressing for opportunity. One thing I've noticed about life and success is that there are a lot of invisible doors. These hidden doors are opportunities that certain gatekeepers can choose to open or leave closed for people they judge to be worthy of stepping through them. Think of it like going to a bar that has a doorman, and he's making a decision of who is going to enter, who is going to have to stand out and just simply wait all night. Well, depending on the club, depending on the night, he's going to make certain choices, but if you show up with 3 attractive women, most likely you're going to be able to get into that place. The doorman, and more specifically the manager, probably wants to have a good mix in there. And let's face it, showing up with a group of 5 dudes, unless you know somebody, he's going to probably not let you in because he doesn't want it to be a sausage party. Now with hidden doors, the opportunities are less visible, but they are there every day. That gentleman you just happen to be standing next to, you start small talking with, he's looking to hire somebody in his company. He owns a few businesses. Do you look the part? This owner, this manager, this HR professional, this is an interview for them because they're always hunting for talented people. And you better believe one of the first things they look at is, how is this person presented? And that's just professional opportunities. Let's talk about personal relationships. For those of you guys out there dating, dressing poor is like shooting yourself in the foot. And yes, I know you're not looking for a gold digger, but the reality is most of you guys don't have any gold for her to dig. And let's be honest, you are probably even more superficial than she is. I mean, seriously, study after study shows that guys can have a checklist and all that goes out the window whenever they get a smile from a somewhat attractive woman. Women, on the other hand, and I know I'm making a big generalization here, they are more selective. They're going to look at a number of factors, including how you dress, how you groom yourself, how you take care of your presentation. Because I mean, would you want to hang out with a woman that embarrasses you with her presentation and behavior? Then gents, anytime you're engaging with people, always look to put your best foot forward. Now, what about the argument of dressing poor in the sense of not buying any name brands? In fact, it's best to be incredibly frugal, only buying things secondhand, except maybe socks, underwear, and t-shirts, which you buy at discounters. Now, straight up, following this philosophy, I definitely think you can put together some great outfits. Now, I'm all for a man who knows how to dress sharp on a tight budget. But the reality is that takes 2 important things: time to be able to assemble that wardrobe, and a deep knowledge of style to be able to choose the right items. Gents, I don't think there's anything wrong with buying luxury if that's what you want. If you've got the budget and if it doesn't hamper your financial goals when it comes to savings and building wealth, get that fashionable clothing, buy that expensive watch, whatever floats your boat. Because yes, I do believe people can save too much. You've met that person. They're probably in their 40s and 50s. They have been frugal their entire life. They've got tons of money put away. Yet this person can't take a family vacation, refuses to spend any money to improve their vehicle that's constantly having issues. This person is so wrapped up with saving money that they haven't even lived their life. So now, gents, it's your turn. Agree, disagree, what you think of this video? Let me know in the comments below. And what video to watch next? Check this out. gray man. So yes, I did a whole video on how to dress down, how to dress in a manner that you do not attract attention to yourself, that you just float right through society and still dress stylishly. So you want to know how to dress stylish, elegant, but not get noticed? Guys, I got you covered in this video. Boom, right here. Oh yeah.